Olandria was the one that was called the N-word on live by one of Huda's fans, and Huda and Lewis laughed about it. So I don't understand why Jessie Woo is making this about Shelley. I don't understand what this has to do with her. And she's trying to say that Olandria's fans are just as bad as Huda's fans because she saw one or two tweets where people were being mean to Shelley, or they were being, um, I don't know if it was xenophobia towards Shelley, but but what does that have to do with the situation at hand? Like, Olandria has checked her fans multiple times, and she never said anything negative towards Shelley. She's never even talked about Shelley since the Ace interview. So I don't understand how you saw a couple tweets that were negative towards a Shelley. I don't know how that correlates back to Olandria. Are you expecting are you expecting Olandria to run behind all the thousands of people that follow her to see what they're talking about? That's ridiculous. Like, she has done multiple lives and checked her fans and told her fans to behave, and there's no evidence that that person who made whatever comment towards Shelley, there's no evidence that they are an Olandria even fan. Like, there's a lot of people that have been commenting on Love Island for a check, right? There's a lot of people who've been commenting on Love Island for engagement, because any type of commentary on Love Island, it gets a lot of views. um so there's people who aren't really fans of anybody on the show, but they've just been commenting on the drama to get views. And there's no evidence that that person is even associated with Nicolandria Core, Come Here Cream, or any of the main Nicolandria fan bases, because I'm in those spaces and nobody talks about really any other islander. We mostly talk about how much we love Olandria, and the only time we have to talk about another islander is when they're doing something and being weird to Olandria. I think the people that have been getting dragged the most has been in within the Olandria fan base has been Sierra, because Sierra has been stalking Nicolandria. They've talked about Ace and Three Dreads. Um, there's been a few people who've mentioned Shelley as far as why isn't Shelley publicly supporting her, but in any of those fan bases, I have not seen anyone be xenophobic towards Shelley, and this is just like a weird deflection. Why are you blaming Olandia for random people's actions? If you had said that the Olandria fan base has been dragging Ace the Snake and Three Dreads, then that's valid because we have been dragging them for filth. But we have not been dragging Shelley or even talking about Shelley. We've actually been avoiding her and not even engaging with her content. But you know who has been dragging Shelley since Love Island was still airing? It was Huda's fan base. It's Huda's racist fan base, Huda's fan base that thinks Huda is better than Shelley, because like there's this weird competition between who's better, Huda and Shelley. That's where Shelley's hate is coming from. It's not coming from Olandria. And Jesse, like, you're very biased and you don't even follow Olandria's fan base to even know what we're doing or what we're talking about. And some of y'all are missing the point. It was Olandria that was called the N-word, and because her name was brought up, Olandria responded with that statement in a very classy way, and she was responding to Huda and Lewis and everybody that was on that live stream, and that person that called her the N-word. That's who that statement was directed to. It had nothing to do with Shelley. And yeah, it's nice that Shelley made a statement, but in my opinion, the way I read Shelley's statement, it was more of a response because she has this rivalry with Huda and Huda's fans, and she's been getting a lot of racism from Huda's fans. She got racism from BuzzFeed. And I read Shelley's statement as being more so being against racism in general because she herself has been experiencing racism. It wasn't so much about protecting Olandria specifically. Like, I just feel like the motivation was more broader, um than just Olandria. I mean, she was also speaking up for herself in that statement. And what Jessie Wu is doing is very dangerous because she's taking like two separate, distinct scenarios and conflating them together to make it seem like Olandria did something wrong against Shelley. Like, even my brain is having a hard time processing it because in this situation, it was Olandria that was called the N word on a live stream of a public figure. Whether we like it or not, Huda and Lewis are public figures, and the N word was said on their live stream. And and what does that have to what does that have to do with Shelley separately also getting racism or getting xenophobia or getting hate? Like, what does I'm trying to figure out what does that have to do with Olandria, and how are we using this situation to blame Olandria because Shelley has been also getting hate. Shelley has been getting hate. Shelley has been getting racism since June, July, since Love Island was on the air. So how is it all of a sudden Olandria's fault because Olandria stopped talking to Shelley? That's not the that's not the reason Shelley's getting hate. Like, I don't even understand this. Like I don't understand why we're at a point where we're supposed to be loving Olandria. She got called the N-word on a very public platform. It's just as bad. Just like how we were upset that Shelley and the whole like knuckle sandwich thing with BuzzFeed, a very public platform, did something racist and insinuated violence against a black woman, which was Shelley. And we were loving on her. This is the same situation where at this point, we're supposed to be loving on Olandria because she got called the N-word on a public platform. What does this have to do with a random person on a random faceless account on Twitter calling Shelley the N-word? Like, I mean, or being racist or sex. I don't know what they said, whatever, xenophobia, whatever they said. Like, what does that have to do with the topic we're talking about? Like, you do realize like a random troll on the internet going into your comments and calling you the N-word is very different than a public figure on a public platform calling you the N-word or saying something racist to you on a large platform. You realize there's a difference between that, Jesse. Like anyone could come into your comments and call you a racial slur. That's a huge difference from one of your love and hip hop castmates calling you a racial slur. You do get the significance of the difference. And for you to use Olandria being hurt and targeted publicly and to use that as an excuse for blaming, somehow twisting it into blaming Olandria for the hate that Shelley is getting. I'm just not even computing it. So that's why I can't even speak intelligently right now, because it's a reach. So, and then the last thing I just want to say is that just be careful about the opinions of these large content creators. Just take it for a grain of salt, because a lot of them are not really following the details about what's happening in this situation, and they're conflating multiple different things to have this narrative that both sides are wrong, that Olandria did something wrong, and they're not even providing any receipts. So just remember, a lot of people are just doing commentary for a check, and they have a lot of things wrong. And people like Jessie Wu have certain connections within the entertainment industry where they want to push agendas, and they're rooting for certain people to win, and rooting for other people to lose because of the connections that they have. So they try to twist these agendas in favor of whoever that they're aligned with, because her logic doesn't make sense, because both Shelley and Olandria have been getting hate since Love Island was on the air. They've both been getting hate and racism since the summer, and it was addressed on the reunion, right? So are we just going to forget about the whole George Floyd thing? And then all the racism, like they were both getting racism at the same time, and it was all coming from Huda's fan base, right? So that's the Huda's fan base. Huda and her fan base is the common denominator between Shelley getting racism and Olandria getting racism. So how are you able now just because Olandria has stopped talking to Shelley, which is a completely different situation as to why Olandria stopped talking to Shelley. But because Olandria stopped talking to Shelley, now all of a sudden the racism Shelley is getting is coming from Olandria or coming from Olandria's fan base. That doesn't make sense. The common denominator is Huda and her fans who have been sending racism to both Olandria and Shelley equally. But now all of a sudden it's Olandria's fault because that Shelley is getting hate. She's been getting hate. So I don't know. It just seems like Jesse has like this weird agenda, and any other content creator that is agreeing with Jesse, I don't think they're really following what's really been going on. I don't think they really know the details, and this whole Olandria side is bad too. Is victim blaming. Olandria was called the N-word on a public platform, and the two public figures that run that platform laughed. And then your response as a black woman is saying, well, Olandria's side is bad too. What are you talking about? That is victim blaming. My heart goes out to Olandria because it's going on 5 months now or so. And she's been getting hate from white viewers, white media. She's been getting hate from black viewers, black media. And this is a lot for one person to bear. And I really, really hope that her mental health um is okay. I'm just so nervous and concerned with everything that she's going through, and I hope she's just leaning on her real friends, her real family, and just leaning on them close. And I just hope that they're supporting her and speaking life into her. Her mom and her sisters seem like very loving people, and I hope she's just like surrounding herself with people that are just really loving on her and caring on her, because it seems like, you know, it seems like the public, I don't know what this agenda is, but it seems like the public is out to get her, and they're really trying to destroy this woman, it seems like. And that's all I have on this. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and thanks for listening.